So on the outfeed side, there is this lever which is supposed to help with doing panels. It basically bumps the outfeed just enough that it would tweak it such that the panels fit good. That's what I've heard, at least. So this is the spot where this 7/16 14 bolt had been broken off in the casting. And instead of the 1/2-inch bolt that I had before, I ordered some 5-inch 7/16 by 14, and initially this wasn't fitting in here very well, but I used the tap and cleaned out the hole, and now this goes in. So this is how this is, even though this is really tight. So I think when this broke, something shifted, maybe. Or maybe this is always supposed to be this tight, but yeah. It's scraping paint off, so something may have bent. I hope that bar isn't bent. I think that bar might be bent. That's annoying. That I can't really fix. Oh well. Anyway, I now have a bolt, and I found from pictures online, somebody at one of the forums shared pictures of their unit. There's supposed to be a pipe. There is supposed to be a pipe in here, and you can kind of see the scratches where that was supposed to be. So it was a pipe around there that was in behind. That way it holds this. Because when you tighten the handle, which the handle is supposed to go here, when you loosen and tighten this handle to lock this handle in place, because this has lobes that work to shift the casting up. Again, it shifts it slightly. So when you shift this handle to move it, that locks, and then you twist the handle. You don't want to just have this handle pulling on here. You have to have a piece of pipe behind it. So I have to get a piece of pipe for that. But this is a 7/16 14 hole and bolt. And this is the section. There's a chunk that goes in here. This is that part that got, well, anyway, there's a piece that's supposed to go on here as well that attaches. And that these bolts are also 7/16 14. So that's good. I left those in there because I didn't want to forget what they were. The one thing with this, I probably shouldn't have screwed this in the whole way, but now that I cleaned the hole out, it at least comes out quick. Fairly quick. There's a lot of threads. Okay. So the way this gets removed is, yeah, I do think that when this broke, whatever happened, I think they bent that as well. Oh well. But in any case, because there's no retainer on this side and that goes into a hole, what you do is you lift this up past, spin it so the lobe is pointing up, lift it up past, and then wiggle and pull out. That's how that goes in and such. And yeah, you can kind of see that's bent. That's annoying. I don't have a press to fix that. Oh well. The good news, I guess, is as long as, assuming I can get it back in the hole, come on. As long as it's not engaged, or when it's in the not engaged position, meaning this is clear at the right, as long as I can lock it into that position and get everything in, that should be fine. Because I don't think I'll ever need to use the panel piece. It's only supposed to go to there. But maybe when I take this apart, maybe when I take this apart, I'll see more what's going on. Because I need to take this apart and clean it because it's all rusted and such. But this should come off by removing this retaining bolt. Then that should come off on the shaft with a little bit of persuasion, possibly some WD-40. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this, the way it comes out, and you can see it's all rusted, so it needs cleaned up. Lobe up, lift and pull. So the next part for cleanup is the triangular outfeed table piece. And I decided this time I'm just going to start with the die grinder instead of using the well, instead of using the 4-inch grinder, because one, this is a much smaller piece, and two, it was a warmish day and I didn't feel like having to wear the big coat to protect myself from the wire pieces flying off the 4-inch grinder. So I like the die grinder, and here I was trying and actually used up the entire thing. It's one of those green rubber plastic with ceramic stuff in for like an 80 grit. It's basically an 80 grit sanding thing. And then here I'm cleaning up some of the weld spatter and other whatnot from. I'm basically reusing the old discs from the previous cleanup. I'm just using them until they wear out completely. And I used that whole green disc the entire way down, and it did okay. I think still the fancier mesh ones, the purple ones, do a better job at paint and rust removal, but the green one does okay. It's, for what it does okay. And went through all this, went through a couple batteries, but that's why I have a bunch of them, right? And this time I remembered to clean the ends thoroughly. I forgot that initially on the base piece and had to clean it later after I already had some primer on. But yeah, so went through all the bits, all the different angles, all the different spots. It's definitely a lot more work to get in all the little holes, but having all the different attachments and such, and being able to pick this piece up without having to use the engine hoist was a plus. I get more of a workout, but hey, that's okay. And there I decided to go back to use the drill wire wheel to get into the actual corners because I can't quite get into there with the bits and things that I have for the die grinder. Those wire wheels aren't really supposed to go that fast, so the drill works fine. And I didn't want to use like I said, I didn't want to use the 4-inch grinder, but I have a bunch of those drill wire wheels, so I use that a lot. It gets in the grooves and everything else, and it does pretty decent. But yeah, just went back and forth, got everything all cleaned on all the sides, and just kept going over it until I managed to get all the different places. Moving it around, you eventually see, I have another spot to do, and then I have another spot to do, and switch back and forth on the tools. But eventually you run out of spaces, and it's like, okay, I think it's all good. And I have the two different sizes. I have the wide wire brush for the drill. I have the small pointed one, and then I even tried with the hand wire brush some. And yeah, eventually I got it all cleaned up and with the air hose and stuff. And this time I remembered to put the tape on the machine surfaces before starting the painting. So I can learn. There's proof. It works much better when you're not trying to fight where the paint is. And I, of course, ran out of tape, but I had more tape, so I had to get a new roll. But that's easy enough. And getting in around those little spots where that lobed bar goes was a little bit of an annoyance, especially in the hole. But I think I got it okay. I'll find out when I take this stuff off. But here I just got it all set up and ready, and then close it up and do the bare metal primer. And that worked pretty good. And ran out of, the first can was only a half can, so of course I ran out of that. But I had the second one ready to go this time. And there's the second coat. I also turned it over to get the bottom. And then there's the blue. And so that's working pretty good. I really like that handle that I have for the spray cans. That's so much better than using your finger. Even if it makes the can a little bit bulkier, it saves your finger so much and does a much better spray job. And here's what it looks like when it's all done. That's multiple coats of blue, and I think it came out really cool. It's not as big a piece as the other ones, but hey, that's okay. You got to do all the pieces, right? You can't just do the big ones, otherwise it'll look funny. But yeah, I think it's going to work really cool. Next is either the head or some of the small bits, because I can't attach this until I do the small bits. But yeah, that worked. Very cool.